Back in 2016, Blizzard dropped Overwatch, which was an absolute hit and made itself known as one of the greatest hero shooters of all time. Then, only 2 years later, Hi-Rez releases Paladins, which slowly falls into the shadows and is forgotten. Then in 2024, we get Marvel Rivals, which is extremely successful and makes itself known as Overwatch's biggest competitor yet. So, what did Paladins do wrong? Hey everybody, it's Benchmouse with the Large Lad Studios channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about Paladins, what it did right, what it did wrong, and whether or not you should give it a try in 2026. And just to be clear, I do really like Paladins, but I do have to acknowledge that it's far from perfect. So I'm going to go back and forth between what I like and what I dislike, instead of giving you all my likes and then all my dislikes. Because the character is the most important part of the game, I'm going to have to start with them. So I'm going to have pictures of each lineup. We got the front line, the damage, the support, the flank, if you look at just the pictures, you can admit these characters look really interesting, but they really don't have any depth. I don't know anything about their personalities. I've put probably around 40 or 50 hours into Paladins, and I couldn't tell you anything about these characters. Maybe the only thing I can think of is that Lex is a bounty hunter, but that's just obvious because of his kit. Androxus is his partner, and that's actually all I know about any of them. I've played them all plenty of times, and there really just isn't any personality to them. Meanwhile, if we go over to Overwatch, every single character has personality, and not just from the cinematic. You hear it in their voice lines.
Cheers, love! The cavalry's here! It's called a marathon, but once I do it, they'll call it a trace-a-thon. Yeah!
Houston, we have a problem. Mountain gorillas thrive in colder climates. As a moon gorilla, I could use a jacket.
And because there's so much depth to the characters in Overwatch, they've really become so iconic over the years, and you start to feel like a little attachment to these characters. Meanwhile, the Paladins characters you have no attachment to at all, besides maybe their fun kits. And then if we look at Rivals, all of these characters are so memorable because we've had comics, we've had movies, we've had TV shows over the years. The Avengers alone could carry the game. Some may think that personality in a hero shooter isn't that big of a deal, but I just wanted to show that it does have a bigger impact than most of you probably think. Now let's focus more on the gameplay of the characters. I'm not going to show the Overwatch characters because you already know their kits, and chances are you've probably played Rivals and you already know their kits too. So I'm going to show you my favorite ones in case you decide to play. Because at the end of the day, these characters are pretty fun. If you go play Paladins and you try every character, you're probably going to like at least 10 of them. And I think there's like 50 or something. For my favorite frontline tank, it's got to be Nyx. She just pulls everybody in, and it's all about beating them down with her 5-hit attack combo. And when you land the whole thing, it feels really satisfying. The slash is really cool. You get the little shield that you don't really care too much for. But overall, the character feels really powerful and is really satisfying to play. If you're going to play frontline, I'd highly recommend Nyx. I think she's a great champion to play. Second favorite frontline has got to be Fernando. The flamethrower is really fun to use. You got your big shield. You got your burst with the fireball. You got your charge from ability. The ult is a little underwhelming because you just rally your allies around you, so it's not too flashy. But really, you're just playing the guy for the flamethrower. It's really fun to use for some reason. Third favorite frontline has got to be Terminus. You have your melee character that has a giant combo where you jump in the air. You can absorb attacks, and you can shoot it back depending on how much you absorbed. And then for his ultimate, you can revive yourself, kind of like Scion, except you explode and do tons of damage to everybody. Really cool tank. I don't think he's the best because he doesn't really have a shield for your teammates, but if you just want to have fun, he's probably the move too. Now onto damage, we have my absolute favorite character, Imani. There's not much depth to the character, but the fire and ice combo feels really cool to swap between. This whole character feels really smooth to play. My absolute favorite ability has got to be the Frost Bomb. There's something really satisfying about this ability, and whenever you hit the whole team with it, then you can do stuff with Inferno Cannon, where if you're flying through the air, you can use that, and usually enemies won't really see that coming. And then for ultimate, you turn into a really tanky dragon, and it just helps clear out any objective. Second favorite damage is Cassie. She's basically just feels like Vayne from League of Legends. She's got her knockback, which is kind of like the Condemn, and then you've got a shot that pushes people away, and then you've got your dodge roll. Basically just Vayne from League of Legends, but she feels really fun to play. Then for my third, it's going to be Bomb King. This guy's just a funny character, and you throw sticky bombs and then detonate them. That's it. But for some reason, it's really fun. So Bomb King's number 3. For supports, you just got Furia, which I've played the most in ranked because I think I was best with her. Something about reloading the weapon feels really cool, where you put like the runes on it, but her main ability is going to be the sunbeam that you call from the sky. It just kind of goes forward and then just stuns whoever it hits. Something really fun about that one. But for the supports, it's kind of just her and then Ray. Ray feels really cool, a little bit of a damage dealer. Her whole thing is pretty much just chain heals and like tethering to your allies. Her auto attacks feel really cool though, so she's got that going for her. And for flank, I'm just going to say Maeve. She's the most fun flank in my opinion. You kind of just run around with your 2 daggers and just ambush people. That's about it. But her ultimate is kind of like Nocturnes from League of Legends, so nobody can see you, and you can do some really sneaky stuff with that. If you're playing damage, probably don't start with Maeve, but she's really fun to play. Then my other favorite is going to be Vora. She has a really cool scythe that has like these little teeth on it, and her whole appearance is cool. There's not much to her besides little scythe combos, but I really like her, so I put her as my second favorite. Now that I've showed you all my favorite characters and how fun they can be, we got to get into the deck building part because it changes each character a little bit. You have 3 unique talents that really change your character, and then you have cards that kind of alter your abilities a little bit. Like maybe your ability stuns now, or maybe it stops in place. But the whole feature just feels a little unnecessary and like it was added just for the sake of being different. Next up we got the mount system. Not a big deal, but I do feel like it adds too much of a chance for a comeback. You know, like you wipe a team and then they all come back so quick with their mounts, it's hard to punish them. But it does feel nice to never be fully counted out, like you just can't make a comeback. Also another feature that feels a little unnecessary. Then we've got the item system that feels like it was just kind of inspired from MOBAs like League of Legends or Dota. I get the theory, you know, if the enemy team has too many heals, it's cool to pick up an anti-heal item. Everybody loves a little bit of counterplay. It makes those characters a little less frustrating. But that also seems like a band-aid fix. You know, I think that the game can be balanced around the actual kits and numbers than having to rely on items. Once again, another feature that feels a little unnecessary. There's a reason why Overwatch and Rivals didn't need this. Next topic is cosmetics. I've never been a guy that really cares too much about skins, so the loading screen frames were kind of cool, but other than that, I just wasn't interested in them at all. There is some cool skin that you can get for playing your character a lot or being good at them or something, but even that one I didn't care to grind for. The maps, kind of fire, but not too memorable. I think the only one I can think of that I really enjoyed was the Siege one. I think it's called like something Quarry, and then you've got the other one, it's Timber Mill. I remember those two because I really like them a lot. The rest of the Siege maps, I don't remember them at all. King of the Hill maps, I just remember Snowfall Junction. I was playing Lex and I was just going on absolute tear. I don't think I've played that one too much. And then on Team Deathmatch, maybe Abyss. Paladins really wasn't that bad of a game. I'm going to be real with you. I did just list a couple complaints, but the characters are really fun and I'd recommend playing the game at least once. Go grab some friends, give it a try. You're in for a good time. The player base is super dead, so you're probably playing against and with a bunch of bots, and the people that are there are probably going to quit and get replaced with the bot, but it is cool to go back and appreciate what it was. But overall, Paladins, there's a lot it could have improved on. I think the timing really hurt it the most. Coming out 2 years after Overwatch before the hype died at all, I think that really killed any chance it had of making a name for itself. And then now that Rivals came out, there's just no chance for a comeback in my opinion. If anybody's watched this far and you still play Paladins or you've played it in the past, let me know what your favorite character was or like how it's doing nowadays, because I haven't played it in a bit, but it has been in the back of my mind, which inspired this video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. I'll catch you later.